Hey everyone, what's going on? If you've been following my videos for the last month or so, I've been talking a lot, and other people have been talking about how Squid Game is synced up to a pig theme that is also synced up to a money theme. And think about pigs, piggy bank, just like how they have this giant piggy bank in the film Squid Game. And also think about pigs and bacon and bringing home the bacon. There's a definite connection to money. If you watch this show, a lot of the show is about how all of these people that are in debt get invited to play this game. And if they win the game, they win this giant thing, this giant piggy bank full of money. And all of the players are numbered. And the main character is number 456. And if you win this pot of money here, this piggy bank, you win 45.6 billion won, which is the South Korean money. And in the language of gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words and phrases, if you look up the main character in the show, his name is Song Ji-hon, that equals 456 in gematria. And we've also pointed out how after the very first game, only 201 people are left. 201 people are left after the first game. And this is a big number we've followed with the Jesuits. And Pope Francis just so happens to be the first admittedly Jesuit pope. And in Gematria, Pope Francis's real name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, equals 201, and he stays at the Vatican guest room, the first pope to do so. And it's room 201, and it's called the Domus Sanctae Marte that equals 201. And Ignatius of Loyola founded the Jesuits, and Ignatius of Loyola equals 201, and a number of other connections to the Jesuits with 201. And what's so interesting is that if you go from the day that Squid Game released to Pope Francis's birthday next year, his 86th birthday, it's a span of 400, or it's 456 days. I'll just type it out really quick. So Squid Game came out on 9/17. And if you go to Pope Francis's birthday in 2022, it's 456 days later. So Pope Francis linked up to this. And think about what today is, right? Today is October 29th, right? October 29th, which is the anniversary of the stock market crashing in 1929. And if you followed what I've been saying about the pig symbolism, it's synced up to Iowa, the state of Iowa, because Iowa is the United States' leading producer of pigs. And in 2017, the Iowa governor, Terry Branstad, actually stepped down and he went to be the ambassador to China. And then Kim Reynolds took over and so on. And I'll bring this back up because right now we have a story in the mainstream media about Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds and how she's signed a law that is going to give people in Iowa unemployment benefits if they're fired for not being vaccinated. And I'll get back to that in a second. But today is also the day that Joe Biden met Pope Francis. And would you believe that Joe Biden met Pope Francis 4 years, 5 months, and 6 days after Donald Trump met Pope Francis on May 24th, 2017? And what sticks out even more about this is that the Iowa governor, Kim Reynolds, notice what day that she became the Iowa governor even. Kim Reynolds. She became the Iowa governor on the same day that Donald Trump met Pope Francis, right? There's this huge narrative with pigs. China's the leading producer of pork and pigs in the world. Think about Squid Game and the pig narrative. Iowa. I talked about how Slipknot was important to this narrative. And Slipknot's bass player, the first one to die in the band, his name was Paul Gray, and he was also known as the Pig. Talked about how it synced up to Kanye West and so on. So it's like, what are the odds that Joe Biden meets Pope Francis on the anniversary of the stock market crash, and it just so happens to be 4 years, 5 months, and 6 days after Donald Trump met Pope Francis? 456. And, if you go from the day Squid Game came out to the day today. It's 42 days, and Squid Game in gematria equals 42. Donald Trump also met Pope Francis 185 days after Joe Biden's birthday, which is interesting because Donald John Trump equals 185, and also stock market crash equals 185. And what else is interesting is that in 1929, the year of the stock market crash, that president was Herbert Hoover, and Herbert Hoover is the only president from Iowa, right? So there's yet another relationship to Iowa, the stock market crash, Herbert Hoover, and Vatican City. In relation to Pope Francis, Vatican City was actually established in 1929 as well. And it was established just before the St. Valentine's Day Massacre in 1929 that happened in Chicago. And there was also an earthquake in Grand Banks, Newfoundland, later that year, I think in November. And then we also had the stock market crash. So a big year, 1929. And in relation to 29, it was a perfect year because Iowa is the 29th state. It has Interstate 29 that goes all the way through it, north to south. And the 10th prime number is even 29. And think about how the stock market crash happened in the 10th month on the 29th day of the year 29. 10 and 29 have a relationship because the 10th prime number is 29. This is also the day of the stock market crash was also the day leaving 63 days in the year. And in gematria, if you read out Wall Street equals 63, and money equals 63. Even the phrase root of all evil equals 63. And Herbert Hoover became the president when the president still became the president on the date 3/4. And that's the 63rd day of the year. And if you followed me over the years, 63 is an important number to the Jesuit and the priest theme that I've talked a whole lot about, especially with the town that I live in. All of the priests that I can remember, they're all linked up to the number 63, such as like Friendly Father Fred, who died on the 63rd day of the year, and the priest who we joked has molested me and then he got busted for molesting a kid in 2014. He was 63 years old, and that story came out on the date 6/30, a lot like a 63. Then he got kicked out of the church later that year, and he was a priest for 35 years. The word Catholic equals 35. Think about JFK, the 35th president, first Catholic president. He died at the age 46. The word Catholic also equals 46. Joe Biden, the second Catholic president, he's the 46th president. I mean, it's craziness. But there was another priest named Father Paul who was an actual Jesuit that was like the coolest priest that ever came to this town. And he just so happened to die age 63 in a bathtub at their Jesuit residence at Creighton, 6 months and 3 days after the Jesuit anniversary, and his name equals 63. So it's just interesting. My Uncle Barney also died in the beginning of 2017 in a very strange car wreck that doesn't make any sense. And he died at Creighton, and he was the 4th degree Knight of Columbus, and he died at the age of 63. So there's something important to how it all is interrelated there. Think about JFK, too, who also died in the year 1963. And JFK died 144 days after meeting the Pope. He met the Pope he met the Pope 35 days after his birthday, even, right? 35 days after his birthday, he met the Pope. And then, or I think it was 35, hold on. It was 35 days after his birthday, he met the Pope. And then, he died 144 days later. And then in the future here, we get Donald Trump, who goes and meets the Pope on the 144th day of the year, which is also his 4th month and 4th day as being the president. And if you write out 44, it equals 144. And the first president to die in office was William Henry Harrison, who died on 4/4. And Abraham Lincoln got shot on 14/4, like 144. And he had a dream that he was going to die on the date 4/4, 10 days before he got shot, and so on. So it's definitely an interesting thing. And 144 is also at the 12th Fibonacci number. So that's something I've been studying a whole lot with this narrative as well. So there's something definitely connected to all this. But You know, it's interesting too, like Herbert Clark Hoover equals 204, Joe Biden equals 204, cryptocurrency equals 204. And it just sticks out because we got the Houston Astros that are in the World Series right now too. And Houston Astros equal 204. I don't know exactly know how that links in here, but I don't know. I just find it interesting. We've also, got a story about Sitting Bull, the Native American, and how they found his great grandson by this DNA of his hair, as the Braves are in the World Series. And then the Atlanta Braves, or the Atlanta, Georgia newscast lady also died today, age 53, and her name equals 53. And you know what I mean? It's just, this happens every year. 2016, when the Cleveland Indians were in the World Series, I was talking about it all summer, how there's a big Native American theme. And of course, just before the Indians made the World Series, the major news was the Standing Rock, the Dakota Access Pipeline stuff, right? At Standing Rock, and that's where Sitting Bull died, and so on. It's just such a joke. The media is rigged up to the rig sports and whatever else. But what are the odds? The Indians in the World Series, then all of a sudden we get all these Native American stories, and then the Braves in the World Series. Now we're going to story about Chief Sitting Bull. But anyway, another big number that I've talked about recently is 263. And it's interesting because stock market crash and the Francis Bacon ciphers equal 263, just like Donald John Trump equals 263. And notice Joe Biden's birthday just so happens to be 263 days before Herbert Hoover's birthday. And this was an important number, an important date during the Chinese Year of the Pig 2019 that I talked a whole lot about. And we also had Event 201 that year, what was that had a coronavirus pandemic exercise that killed 65 million people, and it began in Brazil with pigs, and it happened during the Chinese Pig Year. And then the the Military World Games happened the same day as Event 201, and the Military World Games were held in Wuhan, China that day. Think about Wuhan, China, the coronavirus, and they began in the year 1995 in Rome, and 1995 is also a Chinese Pig Year. So, once again, that's the last time the Atlanta Braves have won the World Series, too, was 1995. And Atlanta equals 95, and Braves equal 95. And the Braves also equal 22, and they haven't made the World Series in 22 years. And 1999 just so happened, that was in 1999, the last time they made the World Series, and that was the 95th World Series. And the last time they won a World Series in 95, they beat the Cleveland Indians. Cleveland Indians equaled 95, Cleveland Indians changed their name 95 days before the World Series began this year, and they played their 95th game of the season that day. But anyway, so Joe Biden and Herbert Hoover's birthdays are separated by 263 days. Stock market crash 263, Donald John Trump 263, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden were born 263 months apart. Donald Trump's birthday is also 5 months and 6 days before Joe Biden's birthday, and the 56 prime number is 263. And 56, of course, is another big number with the Jesuits and coronavirus and so on. Society of Jesus equals 56. Coronavirus equals 56. Toilet paper equals 56. Unemployment equals 56. The list goes on and on and on and on and on, in regards to Squid Game in South Korea, we even had that story about how 56 people got coronavirus at a Starbucks in South Korea, and South Korea also equals 56 in gematria. But I'm going to go back up here for a second. I feel like I missed something. Maybe I did not, but earlier today too, in the video I put out today, I mentioned how I keep seeing the number 316, and I don't quite know what it means, but it's interesting that if you go from Pope Francis's birthday to the anniversary of the stock market crash, it's 316 days. And if you write out Herbert Hoover, And the Francis Bacon gematria, Herbert Hoover equals 316. So there's something interesting there, you know? I don't know what the full point is, but I think there was another 316 down here I noticed, but could be wrong. Yeah, so the stock market crash. If you go from the stock market crash to Valentine's Day, it's also 3 months and 16 days. And think about it, how in 1929 there was the stock market crash, and then later that year or earlier that year we had the St. Valentine's Day massacre that happened in Chicago, right? And if you go back to 2018, we also had the Stoneman Douglas shooting, right? And on Valentine's Day, it was like another St. Valentine's Day massacre, right? And that whole thing was linked up to a bunch of stuff. In 2017, we had the death of Linkin Park, the singer of Linkin Park named Chester Bennington. He died on the anniversary of the moon landing. But Linkin Park is where the St. Valentine's Day massacre happened. And then we also got the death of the dad on Home Alone, John Hurd. And that movie takes place in Chicago. And then we got a gangster shooting at the Jacquees concert in Chicago. And I said, that's pretty interesting. This reminds me of the year of the stock market crash and also, the St. Valentine's Day massacre. We got Lincoln Park and a gangster shooting. And on Home Alone, they have the whole that movie with the gangster shooting, right? And then of course we got the Stoneman Douglas shooting on Valentine's Day that next year, that following year. And it was during the 88th anniversary of the stock market crash. And that was interesting because the Super Bowl just before the Stoneman Douglas shooting just so happened to be played in Minneapolis at US Bank Stadium, right? And think about Herbert Hoover. H is the eighth letter, H, 88. 88th anniversary of the stock market crash. Trump equals 88. The word Neil equals 88. Think about how that was all linked in 2018, right? Colin Kaepernick and Donald Trump calling out the kneeling, right? The word Neil 88, Colin Kaepernick equals 88. The Star Spangled Banner equals 88. Herbert Hoover was the president who signed into Congress that the Star Spangled Banner was the official national anthem, right? So absolutely linked up to that. US Bank Stadium. The day after the Super Bowl, the major headline in the news was that the stock market had crashed 666 points even. And then a few days later, we got the Stoneman Douglas Eagles shooting. I mean, it's such a joke. But the reason I'm bringing that up is because on Kamala Harris's birthday, just a few days ago, on October 20th, the big news in the media was that the shooter of Stoneman Douglas, Nicholas Cruz, pled guilty for shooting up Stoneman Douglas, right? On Kamala Harris's birthday of all days, like, you know, they're linking this up to the stock market and the year 1929 with Herbert Hoover and so on. And also, Parkland, where the shooting was, right? Stoneman Douglas was in Parkland, Florida. Parkland is also the name of the hospital that JFK died in, right? Parkland Hospital in Texas, right? And just before JFK got assassinated, like 2 weeks before, he almost got assassinated in Chicago at Soldier Field, right? But then he didn't end up going because they discovered the plot of somebody was going to try to assassinate him, so he didn't end up going there. But think about that. Chicago, right? St. Valentine's Day Massacre, Parkland in 2018, then the new St. Valentine's Day Massacre, and it's linked up to JFK, the Catholic president. Joe Biden's the Catholic president. There's something very, very interesting with how that links up, Pope Francis's birthday, also 1217, and 1217 is the 199th prime number. Squid Game equals 199. The word dollar equals 199. Bacon equals 199. China also equals 199. Slipknot 199. I even talked about how the 456 prime number is 3221, right? And if you go from the date 3/2/21 to the day Squid Game came out, it's 199 days. And if you watch the TV show Squid Game, in the very first game, the main character should have died, but the player who wears number 199 reaches out and grabs him from falling, which is interesting thinking about the stock market and money and so on. He grabs him from falling and ends up, saving him so he doesn't die and so on. So it's pretty interesting. When I was writing up this blog post, even, Scooby-Doo was on TV, and out of nowhere I heard Fred say something about bacon, but Sia is a vegan. And I don't know exactly what it was, but it was the 11th episode of Scooby-Doo and Guess Who. So just pointing it out. I didn't look that much more into it, but interesting. It came out in the year of the pig, Chinese year of the pig, on the date 9/5 even. Think about 95 was the year of a pig. I'll have to go back and rewatch that. It's random. I don't even, my kids don't even really watch Scooby-Doo that much anymore, but he wanted to watch Scooby-Doo a little while ago, so. And look at St. Valentine's Day Massacre also equals 456 in the Francis Bacon Gematria. St. Valentine's Day Massacre. St. Valentine's Day equals 268, which is, interesting too, because that's a number I've been talking about a whole lot. Year of the pig equals 268. A bunch of synchronicities have been pointing me to that number, 268. So it's just interesting that St. Valentine's Day would equal 268. It's funny, right after I made this blog post, I went to ESPN, and they got this story about the Chicago Bulls player. Just in relation to this, but Patrick Williams, he got injured his wrist and he's going to need surgery or whatever. But I went and looked up Patrick Williams, and his birthday just so happens to be 26/8. Patrick Williams basketball. 26/8 is his birthday, like 268. And his name in Gematria equals 456. Patrick Williams. 456. Also 68, like how, pretty sure Chicago Bulls equals 68. I mean, Chicago Bulls 68. Just craziness. I didn't even look to see how far away from his birthday it was. When did he get injured? 8/26. I'm assuming he got injured last night. 2/28. Can't type for the crap outside. It's cold. 2 months and 2 days, like basketball equals 22. Oh, geez. It just never ends. It's hilarious. 9/29. I'm sure there's a relationship to like Michael Jordan or something stupid in there too, because Michael Jordan was just in the news about his father dying again, and that's something I talked about with the Crow, and been talking about how Michael Jordan is important to all kinds of stuff going on. Michael Jordan shows up in the news. Michael Jordan's going to be 59 years old next year, the year of the Tiger. Tiger equals 59. Joe Exotic is also going to be 59 years old. The Tiger King. Interesting, too, if you go from Valentine's Day to Kamala Harris's birthday, it's 8 months and 6 days. And if you go from Joe Biden's birthday to Valentine's Day, it's 86 days. And I've talked a whole lot about the date 8/6 and the Chinese Tiger Year coming up. 8/6/2022. Kamala Harris equals 86. The word pig equals 86. If you go 144 days after today, it's 3/22 as well. The big Skull and Bones Day. And I don't know, there's just something that sticks out. I've been talking a lot about the Skull and Bones narratives too. And how it's synced up to, George Bush was synced up to the Astros in the World Series. And so 144 days, 322. It's always a date to watch for, but I'm going to watch for it even more, especially, And it's 212 days before Kamala Harris's birthday, and Kamala Harris equals 212. 322. It's also the 81st day of the year, right? 81st. That reminds me a lot of in 2018, so the Super Bowl was held in Minneapolis that had that bridge collapse, and that bridge collapsed on August 1st of 2007 during the Chinese pig year, which I just now putting that together, but August 1st, 8-1, the word Pope equals 81, and, Pope Francis turned 81 years old that year, and his 88 once and one day after his 81st birthday was 818. The Minneapolis bridge, it collapsed. It supposedly fell. What was it? It fell. I can't remember it all. The main trusses were like 81 meters, and it supposedly took them 81 minutes to transport everyone to the hospital. And can't remember what at all. There was a bunch of 81 stuff with that though, and it was linked up to bridge collapses and Pope Francis's 81st birthday. And then just after that, we got the FIU bridge collapse that was linked up to the San Francisco mayor. It was on his 44th birthday, and I can't even remember it all. I think his name equaled 44. He's the 44th mayor, and it was on his 44th birthday or something like that. So 81, and August 1st is also the day Francis Scott Key, the guy who wrote the national anthem, that was his birthday. 8-1. And then the Super Bowl is all about this, right? Marjorie Stoneman Douglas she also died in Minneapolis, or she died in Minnesota. Don't remember if she died in Minneapolis, but she died in Minnesota for sure. So look at this. So yeah, this Kim Reynolds story came later, after I made that blog post. Notice the story came 86 days after her birthday. Iowa equals 86, and so does cornfield. That's why Field of Dreams was really important too. Because Field of Dreams, the year it came out, it just so happened to be the 1986 the 86th edition of the World Series later that year. And that movie was definitely foreshadowing a same city World Series. And they even flashed Moonlight Graham in 1922, which was a same city World Series, which was the Giants versus the Yankees. And that was at the game of the Red Sox versus the Athletics. And then the Athletics and the Giants went on to play in the World Series that year that had the earthquake. But, think about Field of Dreams in Iowa, and lots of stuff going on with Iowa this year. Kim Reynolds also equals 204, right? Like cryptocurrency, like Joe Biden, like Herbert Hoover. Think about her birthday, August 4th as well, right? The word Jesuits, 84. Her name equals 145, like Catholic, like North Korea. Remember Kim Jong-un, his birthday, he became the ruler of North Korea on the same day as Pope Francis's birthday, the day his father died. And then Pope Francis's name also equals 312, and the Korean War lasted 3 years, 1 day. 3 years, 1 month, 2 days, 312, and Kim Jong-un's birthday is 3 months and 12 days after the Jesuit anniversary. Kim Reynolds also equals 152, like Joe Biden equals 152, like Kamala Devi Harris equals 152. Kim Reynolds, her full name equals 322, and 1217 in the Fibonacci sequence, or Fibonacci cipher. Iowa governor also equals 322. So, I don't know. I'm going to leave it real short. Just really wanted to point out this connection because it's just so obvious. I just talked about how Iowa's important to this pig theme, and how that pig theme is synced up to money. And then here we are, we get Pope Francis, meets Joe Biden, all synced up to the same thing I'm talking about. And then Iowa comes to the media just a little bit later after that. It's like, what a joke. Look at that. Here's the Sitting Bull story. Just wanted to show you. This lady, Jovita Moore, she died age 53, it says. Her name equals 53. Sitting Bull equals 204, like Houston Astros, like Trevor Bauer, who's a big piece to what's going on, too. So, whatever. Have a good one. Peace.